Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. It's morning here in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the United States, and we're happy to welcome you to our webinar covering artificial intelligence with a professor from the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing, and Engineering here at IU Indianapolis. Before we begin the webinar, we'll jump into a quick presentation over admissions, a little bit about Indiana University, Indianapolis, if you're not already familiar. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So my name is Erica Alexander. I'm an Assistant Director of International Admissions here at Indiana University, Indianapolis. Indiana University, Indianapolis is a public four-year institution. We're about mid-sized, and we are located right downtown in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's about 3 hours south of Chicago, if that helps. We have NC ethics we have campus is very easy to get involved in different markets. I'm learning from international cultural clubs to sports and music. Anything that you want to better defense when you're going to Here also makes sense so that provides great opportunities for research and course. But I think also long and so staying somewhere that's going to be restaurants or shopping. Movies. You're also on to a zoo and also a few different museums in the city too. So I think I felt maybe both girls. Very urban is the campus that we also have museums where it's very well experience. Here from students. One of the discussions I joined is so for instance I'll do an idea. So we're very active in those things. With people like that students have anything. So that's and the all about to person to active in leadership structures. Yeah, just around country. We're on campus. We're connecting with our students. Our students. So we're our just
Erica, sorry to interrupt you. We are facing some audio problems. Your voice is really gobbled. Would it be possible to check your audio settings?
Yes, thank you.
It's better. Can you speak again?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you for
it's happening again. I'm so sorry.
Can everyone hear me okay? I'm not sure what's happening.
Now it's better. Now it's clear.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can continue. So we have really good programs in artificial intelligence, computer science, for example, computer interaction, sciences, operational and business programs, health
I'm sorry,
sciences.
like I think
Hmm. Hmm. Testing. Can you hear me okay?
now, yes, when you're starting to speak, after the second or third sentence, it's the problem is happening again. Why don't we try again?
Okay. Apologies, everybody. Let's see if we can. So, can you okay? Testing, testing. Okay.
Same problem.
Interesting.
I don't know whether joining back, like leaving and joining back might help.
Um, it's possible. Do you mind if we switch over? I can finish the presentation at the end of the session as well if needed.
Sure, that sounds good to me. Though we can hear you well, pretty well now, right now.
This is a new tech issue, so thanks for
Anyway,
patient.
I can, end a little early so that you have time to finish your presentation.
Perfect.
Okay, let me start with sharing my screen. Okay, is my screen visible?
There we go.
Okay, and I can see my own screen now. Okay, and I hope you can hear me okay. So again, thank you all for joining. So good morning or good evening, based on wherever you are. So I'll be talking about giving an overview of the AI undergraduate programs here at Luddy School of Informatics, and then I'll talk about a little bit about my research to show how we are, making use of state-of-the-art AI techniques. So before I start, let me give you an introduction. So my name is Sunandan Chakraborty. I'm an associate professor in data science, as well as I'm the director of the AI undergraduate programs here at the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing and Engineering. And so my research is I do text mining, I do natural language processing. So the crux of my research is to convert unstructured, noisy text into usable knowledge and apply that knowledge into various domains. So I'll talk in more details about my research in a bit. So before that, I just wanted to motivate you why to choose AI as a major. And AI is a very hot topic right now, but there are reasons for that. So first of all, if you decide to do a major in AI, you will have a future-proof career. That technological scene changes rapidly, but AI, it will give you the basis, the platform to build yourself from there. So whatever techniques you are learning today might get obsolete in a few years, but the training will help you to keep yourself updated and make yourself adapted to the changing scenario. And also, it's a very creative field. Like you'll be by learning AI techniques. AI specialists, AI practitioners are building wonderful new things. Not only improving from what we have already, improving performance, also we are creating new applications, creating new things which were not imaginable before. And then it's a very right now, and we are assuming that it's not going to change anytime soon. That there is a very big demand for skills, and you will have the opportunity to work in many other fields, collaborate with people from many other fields, as you see from this diagram that artificial intelligence techniques are applied in all possible areas right now, starting from health, agriculture, food processing, retail, e-commerce, finance, hospitality, business. Everywhere AI is playing a very important role. And if you take a look at this plot, that in all sectors in the industry, the growth, there is a speculation, a forecast of growth. And that growth, a significant amount of that growth will be powered by AI. So AI has a very bright future ahead. And on top of that, like AI will help you to learn to solve problems, real world problems. You'll be building things which might address very, very important and timely issues in the areas of environment, climate change, healthcare, etc. So here's a snapshot of where things were and where things are heading, both in the industry and academics. It's growing exponentially. So you can see the market size from what it was in 2022, which is less like 2 years ago. 10 years later, we are expecting a 5 times growth. And same in academia. So we measure the growth in academia based on the quantity and the quality of research. And you can see the number of and the number of publications, scholarly articles, is a metric through which we can understand like where a field is heading. And you can see that different sub areas of AI is creating having exponential growth. Computer vision, machine learning, pattern recognition. On the other hand, like other more traditional computer science fields are showing like acting like a plateau. So having said that, so we started offering two AI programs, AI courses at our school. So we both have BA in AI and BS in AI. They roughly cover more the important topics in AI, the recent trends in AI. But the only difference between the BA and BS is BA has more language and humanities related requirements, whereas BS is more math heavy. You will learn more math statistics in the BS program. Both the programs have 120 credits, and both of them are both offered on campus and online. And for these programs, we also have an option that you can continue. These are 4-year programs, but you can stay back for the 5th year and obtain a master's in applied data science. So here's an overview of the key courses that will be taught. So the AI program has a mixture of foundational course, intermediate and advanced course. And because AI is offered by the department, which is called human-centered computing, so we have a special emphasis on human-centered AI, as far as we have courses or options for experiential learning. So in foundational course, you will learn about basics, programming, introduction to AI, what is AI, history of AI. Similarly, you will learn about data science, because without data, AI has no power. So you need to be also well-versed in certain aspects of data science. Then you will learn about the basics of math, which is required to understand fully, appreciate the more advanced courses. Similarly, beyond your first year, you will look into many intermediate advanced courses like deep learning, which is a very important topic, which has been the backbone of data science as well as AI. Then you have, as I said, like some advanced courses on data mining, natural language processing, and also very important is to understand the ethics and policy of using AI. It's going to be a very, very important topic. And right now, as a researcher in this field, I can tell you that this is getting a major emphasis, that whatever we are building, are we doing it correctly, the correct way? Will it pose a threat? There is a high chance that it will threaten somebody rather than helping them out. So we need to understand that, and this is going to be a very important topic in the coming years. And as far as human-centered AI is concerned, we have classes which will introduce you to the area of human-computer interaction. We have dedicated classes which will talk about how to build a human-centered AI systems. Like ultimately, we are building AI systems to benefit mankind. So we want to know, we want to make those systems more human-like or more usable to humans. So these courses kind of cover those aspects. Finally, we have like other options where you will have in on-hand experience. You will learn to build things, not just learn things. This includes internship opportunities. You can do research. You can find a faculty member under whom you can do a thesis, as well as you have, AI professional practices, which is about developing a proposal and executing it. So, and if you want to go for the 4+1 master's program, you will get a degree in MS in Applied Data Science, and there we will cover more advanced courses, graduate level courses. Some of the things you might learn in your undergraduate program, but you will encounter the graduate level versions of those classes, and some. Additional classes include data visualization, which is also very important. It's important to present your findings. It's important to learn about data. As I said, without data, you cannot build AI systems. So it's very important to understand data, interpret data well, and for that, visualization is a very, very important topic. Then you have cloud computing. Again, we are building, like AI means building massive systems. For that, you cannot just rely on your personal computer or your laptop. So everything is happening in a remote location on the cloud. So you will learn about cloud computing. So how to scale your method, how to make sure that your method can go beyond the intended population. And there are other data science related classes in this program. Okay, so I already talked about that, but I wanted to stress a little bit on the specialization course, particularly in the master's level. So as I said, deep learning, we have a course for undergraduate level, but we also have a course at the graduate level where you will learn more advanced topics in deep learning. And again, this area is rapidly changing, so it's very important that you keep yourself updated. You have project management. If you want to go into the industry, you need to learn how to manage projects. Then you have we have natural language processing, which is a more generic course, and also one if you're interested in healthcare, biohealth informatics. Then we have a specialized course which does NLP for biomedical records and reports. And other than that, we have other specialization courses, modeling crisis, which will teach you how to, use data and AI to handle environmental crisis situation, to address natural calamities, how to, recover from such scenarios. And also we have some courses which will teach you about developing web applications. And as I said, research and practical training is a very important part of both undergraduate program and the fifth-year master's program. And you have options for doing thesis. You can do a research assistantship, which is for which you might get paid. You will get paid, not might. You will get paid. You will just help a faculty member with their research, and you can do your research. You can also spend credits to do research, and that might be an independent study, or it can be a full-fledged thesis under faculty member. We have internship options. For that, you can find internships at the local or national level organizations for the summer, or we also allow internships on certain cases during the regular academic years. Then, as I said, there is one special course for professional practice. There are two versions. The first one is about learning how to develop a research proposal or a proposal, which can also be done in collaborating with the industry. And the second version of the course, second phase, you will be actually developing that proposal. So a lot of options to do things to have hands-on experience. Before I move on to my own research, let me give you an overview of what's happening at Luddy. So we have faculty members working in every aspect of AI. And again, this is only from our department, but Luddy School has other departments. So I am part of the human-centered computing, but there's computer science, there is a library and library information sciences. Then we have biomedical engineering and informatics department. So there are multiple, there are plenty of opportunities if you want, if you're interested in research. But in our department, the major emphasis is on data mining, natural language processing, computer vision, visualization. We also do applied work like computational sustainability, how we can use develop AI methods that will help us to build a more sustainable society. We do human AI interaction and also computational social science. And our faculty members, my colleagues, we get like uh, a good indicator of the quality of our research is most of our research are funded by federal agencies like National Science Foundation or National Institutes of Health (NIH), and also we get funding from leading industrial organizations like Google, Vulcan, etc. So now moving on. So this is what I do. This is a snapshot of, as I said, like I work with text data, which includes online news, social media, scholarly articles, e-commerce data, educational materials, and other kinds of online text documents. And I build models. And my emphasis to build, like I say that I do AI and data science for social good. So I want to build something that will have real world social impact. So the project I'll be talking about today is an intersection of these two aspects. So I'll show you how I can use AI to extract information from scholarly articles to address a very important problem in health. So the project I'll be touching upon very briefly today is about um extracting factors related to a disease from text, from research articles. And we focused on a very specific disease called Sjogren's syndrome. Why did we just choose this? Because Sjogren's syndrome is a very it's a rare condition. It's not prevalent in the population. It's an autoimmune disease which affects your tear and saliva glands. That's why the symptoms you receive is dry eyes, dry mouth, and also it is associated with rheumatic disorders. That's why you also experience joint pains. So when a patient is experiencing these symptoms, they go to different specialists. Dry eyes, you go to an ophthalmologist. Dry mouth, you go and see a dentist. Joint pain, you go and see a rheumatologist. And they don't talk amongst each other. So the rheumatologist might not know, okay, this patient is also experiencing dry eyes. Similarly, the dentist might not know this patient is also experiencing dry eyes and joint pains. As a result, diagnosis takes time. By the time the doctors realize, it's several years have passed. So currently in the US, the average diagnosis time is 5 years. You can imagine that, like you have been suffering for 5 years before the doctors know that you have this disease. So how we can, address this? We Doctors refer to the latest research. They are published in scholarly articles. But if you look into the literature about Sjogren's syndromes, there are tens and thousands of research articles, and it's impossible for a single person, even with a large team, to browse through each articles to understand, okay, what causes Sjogren's syndrome, or what is caused by Sjogren's syndrome. So it's impossible to manually extract this information, but can AI do that? So as I said, the kind of factors which will help doctors diagnose this disease, they are often expressed as causal sentences, like this one. Renal tubular acidosis is a common cause of hypokalemia, which can be idiopathic to Sjogren's syndrome. So this sentence is saying something about causality, that something is causing something. This acidosis is causing hypokalemia, which in turn causes Sjogren's syndrome. So if we can extract this kind of sentences from the text, then we can help doctors. Instead of them looking into all these individual articles, they can only look into these sentences, or if you can extract this cause phrase or the effect phrase, directly the factors. So instead of looking at unstructured text like this, they can look at a table which will have causes and effects. So much better, right? So that was the main motivation, that we need to extract causality from text. And it's not only healthcare. I will go back to the problem, but before that, I want to show you how important this is. So this graph, which you can see going up and down, is the price of onion in India, the average price across the country from January 2013 till January 2021. And you can see the prices have gone up and down, gone up and down. And sometimes you can see 50% rise in 6 weeks, 75% rise in 3 weeks. And so, and like people who are from India, we know that like onion is a very important crop for us. We put onions in almost every meal. So if the prices go up, that creates a lot of problems. And you can see that it can, be a very important agenda item in the election. It can have other effects. Like in this article, you can see this was published in New York Times that rising onion prices are is leading to increased crime rate. So it's a very important problem. But how do we know what is causing? We can look into text data. We can look into news. So here I have taken sentences from news articles where, if you look carefully, you can see it's talking about some causal factors of this phenomenon. And so this is one way to look into, like, this was a past work of mine where I used AI methods which will mine news articles to get events like the events we saw over here: truckers strike, rains, heavy rainfall, something to do with export, high transportation costs. These are events. Can we build AI methods? This is a schematic diagram of that method. I'll not go into the details, which kind of extracted such events from the news articles and tried to predict what's the price going to be in the coming weeks. Based on, okay, if there's a transportation strike today, will that affect onion prices like 2 weeks from today? If the weather forecast says there's going to be heavy rainfall in that region or no rainfall in that region, less than average rainfall in that region, can that lead to uh, higher prices or lower prices of onion in the coming weeks? So this is an example of how AI can be used to, draw information from news articles to solve a problem which has a deep social impact. And you can see that if you look at this plots carefully, so this is the REN, recurrent event network. Is If you look carefully, you will see that REN has the lowest error. So compared to many other models which have been used in this space, this AI-based method is doing much better. The error is definitely less than the other options. And that was for food prices, onion, and potato. And here you can see it's pretty similar for cryptocurrency. Like it's doing a near perfect prediction of a very volatile index. Then now we talked about like events, but if you look carefully, you can actually see that uh, we can answer many questions from the news articles, not only just predicting prices, but we can understand if we see something, prices rising or prices dropping, we can probably might be able to interpret that, not only just predicting the price, but also interpret what we are predicting, why we are predicting it. So we can might be able to answer questions like why prices are rising, what is coming next, rise or fall, or what future events might lead to a change. So not only we can understand what's going to happen, but maybe this can also help us predict things better. And this is the main motivation from a different angle. I already showed you uh, how it can help in diagnosing a rare condition, rare disease, but that does not that this idea is not limited within the world of healthcare. This can also be used in other aspects, like here you can see in agriculture, in economics. So extracting causal relationships from text becomes a very important topic. So what is this? So this is basically discovering and expressing causal knowledge, discovering causal knowledge from text as it expressed in text. Basically, identifying items, sentences like this. Like here you can see it. This sentence is saying that obesity accelerates. AD stands for Alzheimer's disease here, related pathophysiology and memory impairment. So that means that we know that obesity has some link, may cause Alzheimer's disease or some conditions related to Alzheimer's disease. So we need to identify such sentences from text and identify the cause entity and the effect entity. And if we can convert that into a table, then it will be easier for us to use that information instead of reading through thousands and thousands of uh, articles. But this is not an easy problem. That's why we need AI. Well, you might see, okay, we might identify this kind of connectors, accelerates, causes, leads to, we're done. But no, it's not an easy problem. That's why we need an AI based solution. Because this kind of relationship sentences are often written as using explicit causal markers like causes. So diabetes causes increased thirst. So we know that this is diabetes may lead to increased thirst. But some often this kind of knowledge is expressed without using an explicit marker. Like, look at this sentence: there was no debate as the issue was resolved. Here, as is used as a causal marker. But in many cases, in majority of the sentence, in the English language, in majority of the sentences, as is not used as a causal marker. As is used as a normal preposition. So that kind of adds challenge. On top of that, you might not have any marker at all. Look at the sentence. Last week, temperature rose significantly, comma. There were several cases of heat stroke reported. There are no connectors, but we as humans, we can understand that the causal factor for number of heat stroke cases increased is the temperature rise observed last week. And we as humans can identify this, understand this without any markers, but it's not easy for the machine to do. That's why you need artificial intelligence, which will mimic human intelligence. And there can be other challenges, that you can have a cascading relationship, that the sentence is talking about one causal factor leading to an effect, and that in turn becomes another causal factor for another effect. So you can have this kind of uh, transitive relationship. Price of fossil is having an effect of housing bust, which in turn is having an effect on the credit crunch. Then you can have one cause leading to two effects, or two causes combined leading to one effect, or you can have parallel effects right in the same sentence. So now you can understand that why AI is important. And also you can have irregular patterns. Like here, it says the illness is caused by deficiency of vitamin D. Yes, this is true. Deficiency of vitamin D definitely will cause illness. But the sentence is saying something very specific. And given the standard template, which we saw 2 slides ago, might not be, because here we see that what is before the causes term is the causal factor. That might not be true over here, because the causal factor or the effect is somewhere very far away. So that's why we uh, we need an AI-based solution to address this problem. And I don't need to repeat myself how important this problem is. If we can extract this information from text, we can convert large amount of unstructured text into usable knowledge, which can be applied to in many domains, including healthcare and economics and finance. So here are some examples which are taken from real research articles, which kind of talking about so Sjogren's syndrome. And here you can see some factors related to Sjogren's syndrome: structural damage and secretory dysfunction of the lacrimal and salivary glands, dry eyes, xerophthalmia, or dry mouth, xerostomia. And here in this second sentence, you can see another factor related to Sjogren's syndrome. Uh, it targets exocrine glands as grandular epithelial tissue. Then we saw this sentence also, that renal tubular acidosis and hypokalemia are also related to Sjogren's syndrome. And you can see, if you look carefully, all these are causal sentences. They have causal markers, leads to, then cause of, the common cause of, targets. But our method should not only be applicable to explicit sentences, well, all types of sentences. And for that, we used a very special branch of AI called generative AI, or large language models. And this is a very on a new thing, which is like only 2 or 3 years old, and which is very in demand right now. So LLMs are, artificial AI models that can generate text and like almost at the ability of a human. And not only that, it can also understand text, which is very important. It's that not only I can speak English, but I can also understand English. If somebody else is speaking in English, I can understand that. And there's no wonder that this technology is used in many sectors of the industry as well as academia. So financial services, it is used for fraud detection, stock market prediction in manufacturing, to maintain equipments or make your process more efficient. Healthcare, as I said, like the problem I'm going to talk about is targeting this, uh, improving patient diagnosis. And not only the industry, even in academia, AI is not limited to computer science or related fields. AI is used in many other fields, basic sciences, humanities, engineering, everywhere. Generative AI or large language models are being used. And here's how you build an AI model using large language models. So you have different tasks. These are NER stands for named entity recognition, because I do NLP. I'm drawing examples from NLP, but they are, as I said, you can solve problems in any domain using this template. RE stands for relationship extraction, and EE stands for entity extraction. So I focus on this part. I do causal relationship extraction. And these are the techniques you do prompting, that you generate, as users, you generate natural language text to communicate with the large language models. Then you fine tune. Fine tune basically means that uh, the large language models are trained on generic data, generic text data. But if you want to work on very specific domain, you can make the large language model learn your domain by on fine tuning the general LLM to onto a data, using a data from your domain. So that's called fine tuning. Then you can have data augmentation, which is similar to fine tuning, but instead of training the large language model, you are supplying the large language model with additional data. Say if you want to focus on a very like a closed domain, you can supply data from that domain and the large language model, and the AI system you're building will be able to be a specialist in that domain. So it's basically like a doctor has you know is able to diagnose like any patient, but more often doctors do specialization. So one doctor is wanted to study the human heart, becomes a cardiologist. That means that he or she is has fine tuned themselves to the domain of cardiology. If somebody wants to study human bones, so they will use fine tuning or data augmentation by gathering data about human bones, and make retrain themselves as a specialist, as an orthopedic. That means uh, they will be specialists. They will know everything about human bones and how to treat elements about human bones. So what I'm doing over here is called causal reasoning using LLMs and generative AI. So that means how we can use LLMs to extract this kind of information from articles. Can LLMs do that? Yes. And for that, so I'm targeting three things. Treatment effect estimation. That means like, so this means that when you are finding a causal factor, well, if the causal factor is true, that does not mean that effect will happen. If I go back to the examples uh, that renal tubular acidosis causes hypokalemia, but that does not mean that every time this will happen, this will happen. If this happens, the probability of this will increase. So, what is that number? That is called treatment effect estimation. If the causal factor is observed, what is the probability that effect event will happen? So, causal discovery, can we learn new causal relationships? So, researchers know about a lot of causal relationships. They have conducted experiments to learn about them. So, all these things are, people don't guess this. People perform conduct experiments, learn from those experiments, and then they conclude, okay, this is a causal relationship. But can we discover more causal relationships from based from what we already know? And finally, causal extraction, that is, whatever sentences are there in the text, can it identify causal sentences like this ones and find the cause entity and the effect entities. So this is what the template I used for this problem. LLMs, which is trained on massive text data. We have observational data like clinical notes, what the doctor, when treating a patient, has recorded observations. We have that. And then I have built an AI system which can do causal discovery as well as build a causal graph from the text data. As I said, structured information, usable knowledge from unstructured text, and also pairwise causal relationship. So this is an overview of the model. I'm using a general LLM, doing this kind of techniques, prompting, fine tuning, data augmentation, doing relationship extraction to create a domain specific LLM. So now the LLM I'm building is a specialist in Sjogren's syndrome. And this process so it can answer any questions about Sjogren's syndrome. So it can be a useful tool for the doctors who are seeing patients with Sjogren's syndrome. Uh, Also, you can imagine that you can build a chatbot using this Sjogren's syndrome specialized LLM who is a specialist on Sjogren's syndrome. So the chatbot can answer any questions. It can help patients, it can help the doctors, it can help anybody who is acting as a service provider. And so, as I said, I'm producing two things: causal graph and pairwise causal relationships. So this is actual a screenshot of the causal graph we built using this model from research articles on Sjogren's syndrome. And on top of that, we also got pairwise causal relationships. And here are some examples. Hypokalemic paralysis is a rare presentation of Fanconi syndrome caused by Sjogren's syndrome. So here the cause is Sjogren's syndrome, and the effect is hypokalemic paralysis. And there are some other examples. SS Sjogren's syndrome is an autoimmune condition that primarily affects salivary and lacrimal glands, cause of loss of secretion. So this is cause, and this is the effect. Not only that, we can also find causal factors of Sjogren's syndrome. Look at this example: 71-year-old woman in whom diagnosis of possible causes of the development of annular arrhythmia led the team to identify primary Sjogren's syndrome. So this is the causal factor which might lead to Sjogren's syndrome. And there are many such examples that our AI model could, from 20, we had more than 20,000 research articles on Sjogren's syndrome, could identify these kind of sentences and extract pairwise causal relationships. So this is where I will end, and I would like to acknowledge National Science Foundation, or NSF, for funding this research. And one thing I want to mention, that this was a student-driven project. Like, I just came up with the idea, I managed things, but all the students, and I worked with Dr. Thankam from the School of Dentistry. We jointly advised all the students who did all the work, who came up with all the ideas, who produced the results. So they are it's a mixture of master students like Pranav and Palak, and but also PhD students like Jack. And we also had undergraduate researchers like Taufik and Sawyer and Sydney, who also like, even being an undergraduate student, had very critical contributions to this project. And without their help, uh, I would not have seen any success. So this is something I would like to drive, that most of our projects, most of the faculty members' projects, they are driven by, controlled by, managed by students at different levels, including undergraduate students. So if you have joined our BS or BA AI program, you will have ample opportunity to work in such research projects, and have valuable contributions to the success of those projects. I will end here. I will let Erica continue with her presentation, and after that, I'm happy to take any questions you have. Thank you so much for joining. Erica, mic is yours.
Thank you. Everything. Let's do a quick test here.
Same issue.
Same issue. Okay.
And maybe you can try speaking a little slowly. Maybe then we might be able to hear you. Can you try that?
Testing for. Okay. We are going to have my colleague Kelly join to the presentation. So she will join here for a presentation. Hopefully that's Kelly, can you do a test?
Absolutely. Can everybody hear me? Hopefully my audio is okay. I'm not going to be on camera, but hopefully I can jump in and help out with Erica's audio issue. Awesome. So Erica, we'll just flip places. Maybe you can monitor the chat, see if people have any questions. And then I'll just go ahead and run through the presentation. I think since you shared it, you might have to also control the slides for me if you don't mind.
Sure.
Awesome. All right, so we'll just go through the beginning of the presentation again, since we were having audio issues before. So we're just going to tell you a little bit more about IU Indianapolis, about our campus and our location and all of the different fantastic qualities that our university has. So let's see, can you go to the next slide? So IU Indianapolis has a lot to offer students in terms of academics, but we also have a lot of other non-academic benefits for students who come and study at IU Indy. We do like to mention sports. So IU Indianapolis is an NCAA Division I school, offering a lot of different competitive athletic options for students. We do also have intramurals and club sports if you're into the sport, but maybe not at the NCAA Division I level. That's fine. You can still enjoy all of the different athletic activities on campus. You can see on this slide a picture of our natatorium where we have hosted Olympic swim trials in the past, a lot of different swim meets and activities, including diving, going on in our natatorium. Indianapolis is also a huge sports city. So we have all kinds of professional and semi-professional sports teams. So you can definitely take advantage of opportunities to go and watch the various sporting events happening in downtown Indianapolis. In addition to all of the different amenities that Indianapolis has to offer, like museums, parks, cultural events, festivals, sporting events, all of that. On campus, we also have a lot of different things for students to do, including over 400 student clubs and organizations. So anything that you enjoy doing in your free time, you can probably find a group of students on campus who shares that interest with you and gives you some things to do when you're not in class or studying or working on research projects, and really a nice way to get a social group on campus as well. So this is a quote from one of our current students who is from Thailand, and she's just bringing up some of the things that she really likes about IU Indianapolis. So she says she decided to come because of the environment and all the opportunities. She specifically mentions internships and how easy it was for her to transition and be comfortable on campus. So we really appreciate that feedback, obviously, from her. So a few more kind of facts and statistics about campus. IU Indianapolis is located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis. So we are an urban campus, and we are definitely a research university. So we heard our faculty speaker talk a lot about his own research, but there is so much research going on campus, a lot of opportunities for students to get involved in all of those things going on. We do have students from over 100 different countries on campus, close to 2,000 international students right now. And we're also very proud of the statistic on the screen there that we are in the top 10% in the world for delivering on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So that's something that a lot of our academics and our research and our on-campus activities all feed into working towards those sustainable development goals. You've also already heard some conversation about research. In addition to hands-on research, we have other kinds of experiential learning that students will participate in. Internships are another one of those opportunities. So we do have a lot of different internship opportunities that international students can definitely get involved in, along with undergraduate and graduate opportunities for research. We have some really great outcomes for our students. So you can see some of the statistics there on the screen, really good employment rates for our graduating students, or graduate school acceptance rates for those who are going from a bachelor's degree maybe onto a master's or a PhD. And it's really important for students to have not only a good in-classroom experience, but to get those other kinds of experiences like research and internships, because that's really going to make your entire experience more impactful in the long run. When it comes to the actual kind of application process for international students, we do offer some financial aid opportunities for international students. The most common one is our merit-based scholarships. So students who apply for fall entry term as freshmen, so that means you've never attended any other post-secondary college or university, you're coming straight out of high school, we automatically consider you for a scholarship when you apply, and those range from $5,000 up to $10,000 per year. You don't have to do anything extra for those scholarships, you're just automatically considered. And we also have our honors college scholarships. So these are competitive scholarships, and they do require an additional application. So students who have a high school GPA, they have really good grades, can apply for our honors college. And then those scholarships range from $19,000 per year all the way up to full tuition. So the application process is pretty simple. You're going to submit your application online. You can either apply using the Common App, or you can use our own application called Apply IU, which you can get to either one from our website. There is a $65 application fee. Once you submit your application, we'll give you the opportunity to upload your supporting documents. So that's going to be like your academic records, either your high school transcript, maybe exam results. Proof of English proficiency is required. We are test optional for SAT and ACT. So you don't have to submit SAT or ACT scores. If you have them, you can submit them, but they are not required. Once we get all of your documents, you will receive an admissions decision. If you are admitted to IU Indianapolis, the next step after that as an international student, if you need an F1 student visa, we'll walk you through that process. You'll have to submit some financial documentation to our office so that we can make your initial I-20. If you happen to already have an F1 student visa, we'll transfer your CVIS record over to IU Indianapolis. And then for incoming freshmen in the fall, we do also have a $100 enrollment deposit that we ask you to pay once you've decided IU Indy is the right place for you. Then you'll submit that enrollment deposit, and that will secure your spot at IU Indianapolis. So this is just a kind of another way of looking at the different steps in the application process. So our application opens in August for students who are applying for the following August. A few months ago, our application opened for students who are applying for fall 2025 entry term. And classes typically start in the middle of August, like the second or third week of August. And we usually have freshmen arrive to campus a couple of weeks early because we have some required orientation activities for them to do in order to kind of get acclimated to campus and be ready for classes to start in that like the middle to the end of August. So the application opens in August. If you're interested in applying for that honors college scholarships, you need to make sure you submit your application by about the middle of December because there is an honors college deadline for international students of February 15th. And that's also the deadline to be considered for our merit-based scholarships as well. So kind of the ideal application window is from August 1st to about December 15th. I realize today is December 14th, but that December 15th date isn't hard and fast. If you're interested in coming for fall and you think you're going to qualify for honors college, I would just recommend getting your application in within the next few days. So we have plenty of time to review everything, get you admitted, and then you can start that honors college scholarship application process. We want to make sure you have plenty of time to complete that before February 15th. Our final application deadline doesn't come up until May 1st. But again, the earlier you apply, the better. That also helps with the time that you need in order to apply for your visa and all of those additional things that have to happen. And then you would be ready for classes to start in August. We do also have a January intake, which isn't on this timeline. It's typically a little bit smaller, not as many students start in January. And most of our scholarship opportunities are just going to be available for students who are applying in August. So that's another piece of information I think is really helpful to know up front as you're kind of thinking about your journey and your timeline and how that might fit for IU Indianapolis. So I'll go ahead and stop there. Our email address for the international admissions team is up there on the screen, iapply@iu.edu. So at any time, if you have questions about the admissions process, about IU Indianapolis, we're always happy to walk students through the process. That's what we're here for. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And I think we maybe have a few questions that have come in the chat. So I am going to take a look at those and kind of facilitate getting some of these things answered. So it looks like the first question in the chat says, how is an education in data science similar to one in artificial intelligence, and how are they different?
Yeah, I can take that. So yes, there are a lot similar. So, and if you look at the curriculum, you will see a lot of common courses. Like in AI, we have introduction to data science. A lot of the methods classes like deep learning, natural language processing, they are covered in both the programs. But what is different is data science focuses on data, AI focuses on building AI tools, and they go hand in hand. Hello, am I audible?
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you. No,
Okay.
that was great. And actually the same student is asking kind of a related question. He wants to know how an MS in artificial intelligence would make him competitive considering the competing majors. And I'm not sure, we don't have an MS in artificial intelligence, but some of our master's
No.
programs do overlap, right, into AI. So maybe
Yeah.
you can talk a little bit about how AI works into our graduate opportunities as well.
Sure. So yeah, before that, let me just add a few more points to the previous question. So in
Sure.
AI, you have additional courses like you will learn how to build a chatbot. Um, you will learn how to build human-centered AI systems. On the other hand, in data science, you will learn about the full spectrum of data science, like how to curate data, how to manage data. Those are not, important for AI. You will learn how to store data. You will learn how to, access data. Again, those are not part of the AI curriculum. They're not part of AI. AI is more about like how to build AI systems which needs artificial intelligence. You will learn how to build, the theory of building a self-driving car. You will learn how to build a virtual assistant from scratch. Those are part of the AI. Okay, I hope this answers your first question, and if not, like I am happy to take a follow-up question. And in the second one, Um, oh yeah. So first of all, I just let me echo what Kelly said, that we don't have we don't have a master's in AI. We have masters in applied data science. We have masters in HCI and many other masters. But the AI programs are undergraduate programs. But if you want to do a 4+1, if you want to stay back for the fifth year to complete a master's, an accelerated master's, then you have the option of doing a master's in applied data science. So, but though our curriculum is data science in the master's level, but the work we do, the research we do, they are at the intersection of data science and artificial intelligence. Like what I do, yeah, I draw methods from data science. I need techniques from data science, but also I develop methods. I develop new uh, models which are contributing to the field of AI. So this is how, at the graduate level, if that was your question, like by doing, projects, by participating in research, you can still be involved with AI, but your curriculum will be about data science. But again, I have to repeat this, that even if we had an MS in AI, a lot of the courses would have been common, because even in AI you need deep learning, in AI you need natural language processing, even in AI you need computer vision, in AI you need to learn how to program, in AI you need to learn about statistical learning. So there would have been a lot of overlap, but all the specialization specific to AI can be done through projects and research work. Does that answer your question? Any follow-up questions?
I haven't seen any come through yet, but that was a great answer. I think one thing that maybe I will just ask as a follow-up to that, if a student knows that they're interested in something related to computer science, artificial intelligence, data science, but they aren't entirely sure, like specifically which area they want to specialize in as an undergraduate student, for example, how easy is it for a student to come into one of Luddy's undergraduate programs and then switch maybe over to a different major?
Fairly easy, fairly easy. Because again, there are a lot of gen ed classes which all programs need to take, and I assume that the student who wants to switch will switch to something similar, AI to data science, not AI to chemistry. Well, that's also possible, but I'm saying, like, if that's the case, if you're moving to a similar program, it'll be easier. The transition will be smoother.
Perfect. It looks like we're maybe getting some thank yous in the chat, but I don't see any other questions. And we are also at time. So I think this is a good point to wrap our webinar for today. We want to thank you, Dr. Chakraborty, for joining us all the way from India today to tell us about your research. Was fascinating, and about the programs that we have in artificial intelligence at IU Indianapolis. Thank you to our audience for being patient with our audio issues that we were having earlier, but we hope that we were able to share some really useful information with you about our campus, about our programs, hopefully tap into your excitement about artificial intelligence and all the things that there are to come in the future of that discipline. And we definitely want to remind you, if you have any questions afterwards, please do reach out to us directly at iapply@iu.edu. And Dr. Chakraborty also shared his email address if you wanted to reach out to him directly to ask some specific questions about his areas of expertise. I know he would be willing to entertain those questions after the fact as well. So thank you very much, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the webinar and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Kelly, for coordinating this or organizing this. And thank you to all who have participated from all around the world.